Hello everybody and welcome to this playthrough for Expert Division, qualifying round edition here for the Frosty Peaks Tournament in Golf Clash, the game. Video sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. And before we start, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Also visit golfclashtommy.com for more Golf Clash related content for free. Last but not least, get the ultimate tour and tournament guides on patreon.com/golfclashtommy. Link directly in the description down below. Can we get this video up to 200 thumbs up? That would be amazing, and I would be very thankful for that. Follow the info box on the right hand side for the club distance adjustment, the elevation adjustment, also then what ball and club type I do suggest you to play with. Have in mind, if you have any questions, you can always make a comment in the comment section below, but the easiest way to get an answer is through support@golfclashtommy.com. Obviously send an email there. In the end though, let's go to hole number 1. For hole number 1, we will be using the driver with the most power possible. In my case, that is the Apocalypse level 5. I'm using 3 bars of side spin to the right as a start, but I change and I play with 2.5 bar side spin to the right and 4.5 bar top spin. Looking for the sticky spot, as you can see, is approximately 1 ring from the rough if you look at the second bounce. Adjustment is going to be maximum distance with a 20% over adjustment. This, as we do have a crosswind that will push the ball massively right to left. So prevent us from having the second bounce or the third bounce into the rough on the left. We do need to play maximum distance plus 20. The ball bounces nicely on the fairway and we then get in the middle of the rough there, rolling all the way up to 359 yards. From this yardage here, we will be playing from absolute minimum distance. And absolute minimum distance is always nice to play from, as that will, in this case, be a fairly easy adjustment. Have in mind that I do want you to play with a thorn, because you will in some cases be needed to play with more than 4 bars of backspin, and it's not every short iron that do have that in every level. Complete minimum distance, ball guideline through the hole. Now we are going to play minimum distance minus 15%, and I'm pulling over the bullseye, adjusting 2.2 rings for 9.1 miles per hour. Obviously, in the end though, we do need to hit perfect, which we do, and we bounce very nicely and roll right that pin for a beautiful eagle here on hole number 1. For hole number 2, we will play on the right hand side. This because we do have headwind, and I do believe coming from the right will be in the long run easier, as I do believe that the elevation will be less playing on the right than it would be if playing on the left. Adjustment is going to be maximum distance plus 10, and I'm looking to use as much top spin possible and aiming straight down the fairway. Here, as we do play with a power 3 ball, win 3 ball, which is called a kingmaker, we will be applying overpower. And in this case, 4.5 ring overpower. You can go with max if you want to, but I was looking to go with a little bit less to give myself a bit more control. Bad, great right, but still very safely on the fairway. We're looking to get up to 380. That is at least what I'm looking for. Now we will be playing in somewhat close to medium distance of our club. I would say in this case maybe closer to like 60-65% of our club instead. Apply spin, and I'm using a little bit of a right spin combined with around 2 bars of backspin. Most importantly, ball guideline to be just through the hole. Approximately half a green square through the hole is what I'm looking for. I do adjust this shot for medium distance and no elevation, but I do think that when the wind is as it is, and that we are actually adjusting for the wind right to left, I do believe 10% over adjustment would be beneficial in a situation like this. The ball comes in with a very good speed, but we are a little bit off. We need those extra 10. As already explained, we played without elevation, and that made us miss to the left. So hole number 3, I'm using the new Frozen ball. Looks like Elsa and Anna in Frozen has been out playing, I must say. I'm using 3 bars of side spin to the right, 2.8 bars of backspin, ball guideline through the hole with the top of the yellow ring by the rough line. Adjustment is going to be 7 rings, and I'm pushing my rings. I do truly dislike pushing, but as I do not have any choice because the tree is in our way. So, in the end though, I push and I do 7 rings, which is maximum distance plus 15 power 3 ball numbers. And then I'm gonna take my shot. Perfect ball, and it's on its way. And the ball bouncing right into the rough and roll lovely towards the pin. Right that pin for a beautiful hole-in-one. What do you do if you don't have the new frozen ball? Then you choose a power 1 ball side spin 3 ball instead. Okay, so then we do have a little problem, which the problem will be that if we do have the highest possible wind as we're having here, 6.3, and I would say 6.2 as well, then we will be adjusting into overpower, because a power 1 ball has the maximum of plus 4, and as you could see on the video, we do adjust into plus 5, right? So with any type of wind that is 6 miles per hour or below, then we can play with a power 1 side spin 3 wind 5 ball. Instead, in the highest possible wind, we either need to go with the rock or we need to play with a frozen ball. Okay? So that is something that you do need to have in mind. I wanted to say it at least so you do have it in mind and don't get surprised. Sure, you can go with a wind 5 power 1 ball and go with a click of overpower if that sounds better as well. However though, it's a good chance for an hole-in-one, and that's why I wanted to display it here in the playthrough. For hole number 4, we are going to send it, and here I'm using 3 bars of side spin to the left, and I will in the end go with 2 bars of top spin. And here I do think we should be going with 2.5 bar top spin when we do have 11 miles per hour, which is a low wind with a wind 0 ball. If we do have a wind that is 12 miles per hour, we should be going down and playing 1.5 to 2 bars of top spin, and if having around 13 to 14 miles per hour, we should be playing with just 1 bar of top spin. The plan here for me is to have the ball to bounce on the fairway over the bunker and the rough that you will see me almost clear here with this shot. Adjust maximum distance plus 10, push up to max, and then max overpower. Unfortunately, a great left here, but in the end you will see how this ball bounces. It bounces and we almost carry over there, and in the end though, if we would be coming over there, it would be a very short wedge for us to making an eagle. But if you do clip the rough or the sand for that matter and roll out, then you should be playing 20% elevation through distance, meaning that you do obviously should be measuring the distance to the pin based on after you have been using all the top spin possible. Here it could be beneficial to actually play with the rapier if you feel comfortable with that wedge. I do not feel comfortable with the rapier at all, and that's why I play with the end bringer, even though I do have it in level 6. And now I snuck it in on the right hand side, and I do believe this is going to be an absolute must eagle regardless what we do think in the qualifying round. And this is so here it is. Take the ball that you have the least wind resistance possible, wind 0, and just because I play with the summer ball doesn't mean that you have to, because the summer ball is having a very bad needle speed. So use a snow globe if you can, because that needle speed would help you a lot to hit perfect instead of hitting a bad. For hole number 5, I will be playing with the Guardian. Max backspin, 1 bar side spin to the right. That means that you can play with whatever wind 5 power 1 balls you do have, because there isn't anyone that has side spin 0. Now look at the ball guideline. I'm looking at the tip of the ball guideline to be in line with the pin, and in this video here now I'm using 5 green square. I count 5 green squares from the pin and up to put my target. Okay. Adjustment, maximum distance with a 20% over adjustment, power 1 ball settings, and then we're gonna take our shot. Very close to timing out there, I noticed, and we see the ball coming up very nicely above the pin, and it then zooms in and fall back. And the problem that we do have is that we are aiming too far down, so we do need to count 6 green squares from pin and up and still have the ball guideline pin high. Very important, and that will give us a very nice and good chance making a hole-in-one on hole number 5. Here we do have a cross swing for the start. I'm playing with a Thor's hammer, max top spin, and then 2 bars of side spin to the right. This is a complete flat crosswind, and I will in the end go with curl, just so the adjustment ring cracks to the right, applying 1 ring of overpower. And the reason I do want to use curl here is not that I don't think that we will be okay without. It's because if I do hit a bad great left with a low accuracy club, there will be risk for the ball with the wind coming right to left to be pushed into the rough on the left, and that is not something that we do want to do. Second shot, we do play with our Cataclysm. It could be the big dog, could be the Horizon. It all comes down to which wood club do you have the most power with. In my case, it is the Cataclysm, and I'm using 1 bar of backspin and max side spin to the left, using the ball to be just outside the adjustment ring to the left here. Maximum distance plus 10 in adjustment. Here you can see that we're coming in a little bit too hot. Could go on with 2 bars of backspin, could also go on with more curl, but in the end though, I'm only looking for an eagle here. If this would have been a wind that we would be playing with, let's say in opening round or in the weekend round, I would have pushed the drive a little bit harder to try to get a bit more distance and an open shot towards the pin. But now, as this is the only wind that we will have this week here on hole number 6, I do think it's very important to play it safe, take the eagle and be done with it. Last but not least, we do have hole number 7 of the par 3s, top of the white ring by the rough line. I'm not using any spin whatsoever here, and we then have the ball guideline to the pin, or like trying to aim directly at the pin at least. Now, when we're going to adjust here, we will be adjusting a very simple 1-to-1. So if the wind says 6.4, would be saying 20.5. Now I'm over exaggerating, obviously. You should adjust 1-to-1. So 6.4 rings for 6.4 miles per hour. As you could look as well, I did go with a heavy 1159, or like with a clear 1159 here. That's because with my other tries, I've been missing pretty hefty to the right. And then we bounce, and speed-wise we're coming in lovely, but we are just on the left side of the pin. So the thing that I would like you to do is to keep everything the same, but change the clear 1159 to just be a flicker 1159. And what is that then? It's when you have the needle being straight and going just left. So it goes middle, left, and not going anything middle, right, if that makes sense. So then you will have a very good chance, and I do think that this will be the par 3. For hole number 8, we will lay up with our rock. And the reason I want to play with the rock, it's because it gives us power, but it also gives us a really good accuracy, which will obviously be very helpful if we do hit great. Plus 2 yard mark is where I start with the rock level 9. Plus 3 yard mark is where I start with rock level 8. And then plus 8 yard mark if I play with the rock level 7. 4 bars of topspin and 3 bars of side spin to the left. Why not use more than 4 bars? It's because I do want this video to display where we will end up even with the rock level 7. Could be with a king wind, like with the highest possible wind with a kingmaker, that we need a little bit of overpower with the rock level 7. But as it's good accuracy, it will not be any problem even if you hit great. Maximum distance plus 5 is the adjustment for the drive. Second shot, I play with a Grizzly, just because I do want to have the ball guideline. Unfortunately, I do believe that I slip here, getting this ball guideline a bit heavy through the hole. I want the ball guideline to be to the hole, not through the hole. Adjustment here, as based on the drive here in this video, will be maximum distance with a 25% over adjustment. but I would like us to play with a 30% over adjustment instead. And the reason for that is two things. One, we play massively downhill. Second, we do have left to right wind, which will push the ball a lot. Every single time it comes with a bounce, we will be pushed left to right every single time, and therefore we need to have a lot of elevation to try to keep ourselves aiming for the pin. This, I do believe, will be one of the tougher holes actually, especially when we have the pleasure having a lot of tailwind here in the qualifying round. On hole number 9, we do have another Send It wind, and here I will be using Thor's Hammer, as I do believe the Thor's Hammer will be the best club for this type of shot. And the reason for that is that we can go with max overpower regardless what type of wind we have for our drive. Obviously, we do want to have a pretty high wind, and I would say a wind up at 13 miles per hour would be ultimate. I do think those of you having Thor's Hammer level 8 should maybe take off a smidge of overpower if the wind exceeds 13 miles per hour. Adjustment is maximum distance plus 10, then you push up to max, and then we're gonna try to hit perfect in overpower, which we do with the summer ball. Pick a snow globe or another Wind Zero Power 5 ball that has a better needle speed for a better success in the long run. We come in very, very nicely, and we land on a position where it is 522 yards. Look, however, though, how downhill the next shot is, and I decided to play this one with 30% over adjustment. So we're gonna have to change that. As it says 20, we're gonna change that to a 30 in the info box. There we do have it. So measure your club distance. I do look at this as a 20% slider with 30% elevation. But in the end, I do burn the right edge. Here, I do feel though that this is a shot that we do need to drop if we do have a shot from the fairway, even though it's a very elevated one. No spin, leaving the ball guideline slightly short to just compensate for the extended ball guide line. Bouncing, 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 and then we just burn the right edge. We need one extra decimal, so from that case, we should be, now I need to check here, we should be going 22% slider instead of 20 from 522 yard mark based on a perfect drive. Really good chance here on hole 9. Thank you so much everybody for watching this playthrough for the Frosty Peaks tournament here in Golf Clash the game. Make sure that you do email support@golfclashtommy.com if you do have any type of questions. Also get the ultimate tournament guides on patreon.com/golfclashtommy. We now offer individual packages, so if you're looking only for a specific division, you don't have to buy them all. You can only get that one, obviously, for a cheaper price. Make sure to check it out. Link in the description down below. Video is sponsored by Golf Clash and Platedemic. Thank you so much for watching, and good luck in the Frosty Peaks tournament.